So I've had little desire to drive the Porsche lately. Not because it left me stranded, not because the check engine light came on, not because there's anything wrong with the car, but because of this. A piece of plastic doesn't affect performance, doesn't make the car go faster or slower, has zero impact on drivability. Yet, it's been enough to make me want to leave the car parked. And I know what you're thinking. Ridiculous. A grown man upset over a missing piece of trim. And I'd agree, it's ridiculous. I'd say the same thing until it happened to me. You know, when people ask me about Porsche service costs, the cost of ownership, typically they want to know about the cost of maintenance, oil, tires, scheduled service. Quite frankly, that's the easy part. You can budget for those. But what you can't budget for is that typical Friday drive. That typical drive when the unexpected happened. The very thing that's not supposed to happen. You see, here's the thing. Porsche ownership, well, it rarely punches you in the gut with one catastrophic failure. No, it's more like one surprise expensive repair sneaks up on you at a time. Now, I suppose I should have seen this coming because a few months ago, well, I did a video on my night vision sensor. One cracked mirror, one small component, over $2,000 cost to repair. The car drove perfectly fine, nothing wrong mechanically. But it was at that moment that I remember thinking, this is where Porsche ownership really gets tricky. And not because the car had suddenly become unreliable, but it's the fact that modern cars have become so sophisticated that one failure in any tiny component, well, that can easily translate into a major repair cost. And I thought I'd learned my lesson with the sensor. But apparently, class wasn't over. And then this happened on Friday. And honestly, when dude pointed it out to me, after getting over the initial shock and trying to figure out how on earth that can even happen, I just said to myself, I'm not gonna let this spoil my weekend. It's not gonna affect all this good driving I got in front of me. I'll just order a new trim piece on Monday. And then I get on the internet and start looking for replacements. Close to $1,800 for one OEM trim piece. $600 to $800 third party. Now, we're not talking about an engine component, not major transmission service. We're talking about a plastic trim piece. Doesn't affect drivability of the car, has no impact on performance. And just like that, a $2,000 conversation about a night vision sensor a couple of months ago has turned into a probably upwards of $4,000 repair today. I call that the Porsche ownership slide. And here's the thing, nobody budgets for this. One thing happens and you say, I'll get it fixed next week or next month. I'll take a day off and I'll take it to the repair shop. You delay, then something else happens. Now you have two things. You push that off, then something else happens. And now all of a sudden you have a vehicular punch list. And not because the car is suddenly unreliable, but because life happens. And that's a different conversation. Now, honestly, if you want to know the truth of the matter, what actually hurts more than the missing trim piece is the fact that everywhere I go, some Joe Smo is walking up saying, hey, you're missing a piece of trim on your 911? No, I've had no idea. Since this has happened, no less than 10 people have walked up and advised me that I'm missing a trim piece off my 911. And here's the thing, it feels like I'm that 16-year-old kid with a giant pimple on the tip of my nose walking into the school lunchroom. I know it's there. Everybody sees the pimple is there, yet they feel like they got to come up and tell me, hey, you got something on your nose? Yes, I know I got a pimple on my nose. I got a mirror. Thank you. And it's not like people are trying to be rude. They're just trying to be helpful. But when it's your pride and joy, every reminder hurts just a little bit more. And you know, if I'm honest, this just might be karma hitting me. Because just 3 weeks ago, my friend Tim called me and he was just like down in the dumps. He had checked out, hadn't talked to him in a minute because his PDK had failed on his 911 and he was like straight depressed. And, you know, he just needed some help, some feedback. And I told him, I said, Tim, you got 2 other cars. You got a Range Rover and you got a Panamera. Get over yourself, man. These are first world problems. Give me a break. What's wrong with you? Now, I understand, Tim. I beg your pardon. But before y'all start lighting me up in the comments, I'm not trying to compare a missing trim piece to a PDK failure. But I am comparing emotions. Because when you're emotionally invested in something, logic it takes a back seat. Now, I'll tell you, the money side of it didn't totally shock me. But the emotional response, that did. Because I've been feeling like that I've been going through stages of grief behind this. You know, I find myself just not wanting to drive the car. No interest in getting in it. I've caught myself avoiding it by walking around the passenger side just so that I don't have to see the damage. And yeah, that's crazy. I know it's crazy, but I'm doing this just so I don't have to look at the reality of this gaping hole here. Yeah, it's there. I know it's there, but I'm in a holding pattern right now, waiting on parts to come in from overseas. I'm waiting on the car to be put back together and to be whole again. And until then, I guess I'll just honestly pretend like it's no problem at all. You know, finally, I had to check myself, ask myself, why is this affecting you so much? Why are you so bothered behind this? And the truth is, it's not so much that I was protecting the car. I'm protecting the idea. The idea that if I'm responsible, if I take care of the car and do everything that I'm supposed to do, nothing bad will happen to the car. The car will always be like it was when I got it. But that's not ownership. That's fear. You see, part of ownership is understanding that cars get dents, cars get scratches, cars get rock chips, cars get cracked windshields, cars get old. And if you drive them, well, they collect stories. And stories tend to leave scars. Scars leave memories. You know, here's what I've come to realize, and it stings a little bit. But the goal was never to own a perfect Porsche in the first place. The goal was to own a Porsche, to drive a Porsche, to experience everything that this car has to offer. Now, you can have the perfect Porsche sitting somewhere shined, tuned, beautiful, static in a garage. Well, that Porsche, while it may be perfect in the garage, it's nothing more than a collectible. Now, a Porsche that's been driven, tracked, photographed, lived in, scratched, scraped, and yes, repaired, well, that's a Porsche that's been appreciated, and that's a Porsche that has earned its badge. So here's the thing. I've ordered the piece. I'm going to get the car repaired. I'm going to make the car whole. But I'm done letting little things like trim pieces and rock chips and cracked windshields steal my joy. Because cars, no matter what you do, they're going to depreciate. Memories appreciate. And I'd rather make memories in this car than have the perfect car that's not lived in. Welcome to the Wastegate, where we talk about real Porsche ownership experiences. The good, the bad, and the little tidbits that people willfully ignore.